Most cargo ships in Elite fly like bricks, and the Clipper MkII? Yeah, it's no exception, but here's the twist. It hauls up to 1124 tons on the ideal build and still pulls 396 meters per second. That's wild for a ship this size. So today, I'm showing you my cargo build and putting this luxury hauler to the test. Now, if you want to go with a more bare minimum route, you can also push it all the way up to a max total capacity of 1204.
Greetings, Commanders, Jurassic here. Today we are checking out the Clipper MkII. This thing is ginormous and I'm super excited to test it out. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of the Raza from Dark Matter, if anyone's seen that series. But we'll do a quick run around the ships, that way everyone can see all of the awesome details that were added in. Looks like they got some pretty cool thrusters. Even the back of this thing looks like it's going to be a ginormous carrier. I wonder if we'd even be able to drop down the back ramp to like load and offload vehicles. That'd be cool. Be a unique thing to this one compared to the other ships in the game where they just drop it down in the bottom. Alright, so let's take a look on the inside of the ship. This ship will go on sale in the ARC store on July 22nd, 2025. Alright, so we have 4 different seats available to us. For anyone curious what the interior of the Clipper looks like, this is going to be a decent view of it. It looks like each crew member has their own dedicated console area, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's start with the complete basics. Let's see how much storage it has first, and then we'll set it up for combat capabilities. Empty Mark II storage compartment. Alright, so before we get into the whole jump range thing, which we'll customize like our other ships inside of the base game, because I want to see how far we can actually get with the max amount of storage, let's see what this guy can actually hold up to. So if we have everything set completely to inventory as it sits currently, it'll hold 1,204 cargo capacity, which is actually a ginormous number, so I'm super excited about that. Now let's see if we can do something about this jump range. So to get the best jump range, which we're going to want to junk these weapons anyways for fighting, so we'll just store them, trash any weapons. This is going to be purely a run cargo from A to B setup, and then we'll focus on the combat setups afterwards. So our recommended build that we have for the cargo transportation is going to end up with a cargo capacity of 1,124. Now let's look over what all we actually have done to the Clipper. So for hardpoints, we're going to have it completely empty, but just as a quick overview, it has 2 large hardpoints, 4 medium, and then it'll have 4 small hardpoints. So it has a decent amount of weapon for it, but for this specific build that we're going for, we're going to leave those empty. Utility, it'll have 6 different slots that you're able to use for utility-wise, so it'll have plenty of options to use shield boosters. Our core and turtle, this is going to be the most default build to try to have as most people able to get it as possible. We did go with the Guardian hybrid power plant since it's a little bit more efficient, so some of the technology is going to be a little bit advanced for like the newer players, but I feel like most people should be able to get these relatively quickly, so we went ahead and went with this to be the most efficient, that we had a little bit higher jump range boost. However, you could go with a 4A power plant here, same with a 5A power distributor down there. But we have the Guardian power plant, we have our 8A thrusters, which are going to be modified all the way up to the max for dirty drive tuning. We don't have any extra attributes added to it. We have a 7A SEO frameshift drive booster. We have a 5D life support. You want to go with the D series since it has the least amount of weight compared to the other classes. We have a 5A power distributor hybrid plant. This is just going to be the default, you don't have to do anything special to them. 5D sensor. Once again, this is mainly for the weight. 7C fuel tank. Now, this ship does come with one thing that's really cool. It has a Mark II cargo rack, which is going to be 192 compared to a 128 of a normal size 7, so it does give it a little bit of boost there. This is going to be purely for colonization to see like what all we could actually do to move cargo back and forth. Also for the people who like mining, they'll have a general idea. There's a few things that we'll have to drop for mining, but this will be mostly for moving things back and forth across the universe. Now we have a 5H frameshift booster. You are going to need a size 4 slot available to a shield if you want to have the smallest shield possible. That way you're able to have a little bit of protection. And most importantly, for any cargo hauling ship, you want to make sure you have a fuel scoop. Fuel scoops are super important. That way you can actually refuel your ship. If you're new to Elite Dangerous, there's an acronym called KGB foam. That's going to be the different star types. Any star that has that in the acronym is going to allow you to refuel as long as you're close enough. the higher tier you go, the quicker it's going to refuel. So I go with a 5A over having like a 5D for a little bit more fuel efficiency. However, you can drop it down. The reason why we're trying to keep our weight as minimal as possible, the less weight you have, the further your jump range is. So currently, with everything that we have installed, which I think is going to be the basic for what most people would actually have for cargo hauling, we'll have a 1,124 cargo capacity, which is actually pretty massive. You can squeeze out a little bit more if you want to drop like your frame shift drive and booster, your fuel scoop, but I feel like some of those are kind of essential. The shielding, I usually go without them, but I know a lot of people use them, so that's why I want to use this build. The only thing that we don't have on this build currently is the shield. It's still slowly getting sent to the station, so we'll go without it, but we have that slot open, so basically this is going to be a full experience if you had everything set up for cargo hauling with the shield. And also this is going to be the max engine thruster speed, except for, you know, a few modifications that we could have done. Now for the size of the ship, we're going to compare the speed. We're not going to compare it to the fastest ship in the game. Obviously a ship this size is not supposed to be like super, actually it's moving pretty quick. A ship this size isn't supposed to be able to move across the universe instantly, so I understand a little bit on speed wise and what it should be, and I'm okay with the large ship being a little bit slower. New ship struggles. My bad. Ooh, look at that boost. 396. Looks like it's going to be our top speed. We're still mass locked though, so we'll see if we can get a little bit further out. This is Commander Acid. We have the Clipper MkII. Once again, we will have a video out soon on the combat capabilities of it, but I wanted to test the speed, the cargo capacity, and actually have a general look around the ship. It actually looks phenomenal. I'm super excited to use this as my main ship. I personally like the bigger ships in the game. I know they're not the most efficient to fly around in. This one just looks so cool. I'm super excited for the capabilities of it. Get us a nice clean shot of the brightness of it. Once again, this is going to be the Clipper MkII. It'll be available in the Arkster on July 22nd. The thing looks like a massive beast, and it's going to be really cool once we get into the combat, seeing what we got. I think we'll do a mix of lasers and multi-cannons to start out with, but it definitely has good cargo capacity. Alright guys, well that was Commander Acid, signing out.